Hi, butterflies. Welcome to my garden. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And now, let's get into the video. Hi, everybody. It's your girl Calypso, and I am back again. I'm just gonna I'll skip that today. So today I wanted to talk about uh, I'm not trying to ruffle any feathers, but sometimes I get a little bit nervous when I'm talking about certain topics because I remember in one of my previous videos, I had said something to the effect of men are like bosses and there's always one coming. And that ruffled a few feathers, but it is. I speak the truth, and which is probably why it's not a comfortable thing for some people to absorb. And there's going to be a few people who are going to be upset with me for saying that, but it is what it is. And I'm just here to speak the truth or speak my facts, however I see the world. So today I'm going to talk about the Pygmy Girl, the Pygmy trans girl specifically. But first of all, what is a Pygmy Girl? You may ask. The Pygmy Girl, this is a girl that goes out of her way to impress men. She makes it seem like she's not like the other girls. Like, I'm not like the other girls. I am not into all the things that all the other girls like. I'm a better option than the other girls. That's a Pygmy Girl. And this type of girl, she claims that she is typically not into the feminine tropes and she likes masculine things, and she's one of the boys and she's one of the homies. She's one of the homeboys and one of the homies. You know, she likes sports, she likes beer, she likes video games and all those traditionally masculine geared movies. You know, she likes the classic cult masculine geared type of movies. And she sometimes goes out of her way to kind of throw those not so subtle hints that, you know, she is not one of the girls, that she is one of the boys and she is not like the other girls. You know, those are the Pygmy girls. And this type of woman, she doesn't like other women. She's not for women. She doesn't like other women because she would sometimes try to embarrass other women and sometimes throw other women under the bus to sort of ingratiate herself and make herself look superior in a man's eyes and hopefully get chosen or be the chosen option for the man. So hence the Pygmy Girl, the Pygmy one, you know? So there's that section of the Pygmy Girl, and then there's the other section of the Pygmy Girl. These are the Pygmy girls who also they embrace their femininity, but at the same time, the Pygmy Girl also goes out of her way to present herself and to present her image in an overtly sexual manner with the sole purpose of enticing the target, which is typically the opposite sex. So these are the girls who would post all the salacious photos on Instagram or social media. You know, you talk about the thirst traps, you know, those girls who go out of their way to leave so little to the imagination just to get the male gaze and to get the male attention, because that male attention or that male the male attention period, that attention that they're getting, it feeds their ego. And you know, they hope that, oh, he can see that I'm sexy, he can see that I'm potentially freaky, so therefore he would pick me. So that's another section of the Pygmy Girl. And you know, there's also, and then there's some of these Pygmy girls, they also drop, you know, not so subtle hints about their sexual prowess. You know, the WAP girls. You know, they talk about their sexual prowess and their sexual superiority over other girls. You know, not so subtle. You can see it on the gram, the captions, and all of that. You can see all of that. And They do all of this in the hopes of being the preferred choice. But what some of these girls don't realize is, yes, you might be the preferred choice, but eventually the cream rises to the top, and your true identity eventually will come to the surface, and it wears off all of that. The glow of lust is going to wear off, and then they would be, and it would be more, it would become evident that there isn't much to your character besides the physical presentation, besides the pygmy spirit. When that pygmy spirit fades and then the real you comes to the forefront, you know, you might be good for a weekend, you might be good for a week or a couple of months, but eventually all that pygmy energy only gets you so far, and it's nothing that actually lasts, that actually holds a lot of water in the long term, if that makes any sense. So these are what a lot of the pick me girls don't realize, and that's where that pick me energy is. That's what I'm referring to in that pick me energy. So you have these girls who will tell you, oh, I'm one of the boys and I don't like all that girly chick flicks, or I don't like all that girly stuff. You know, I'm one of the boys. I like sports, I like beer, I like all of that. But guess what? There's nothing wrong with being a feminine woman. Excuse me. There's nothing wrong in embracing your femininity. There's nothing wrong in being a girly girl. Men will still. I'm a girly girl for the most part, but guess what? These men still like me. If anything, I'm the one who's picky. If anything, I'm the one who's taking my time, just because I'm not just going to say yes to whoever approaches me. If anything, I'm the one who's picky, because guess what? I know that I'm the prize. So you won't find that pick me energy over here, that's for sure. Um, and there's also the ones, then there's that section of girls who, one of the boys, one of the homies, and then there's the other section of the girls who are overtly sexual. They call them the thirst traps on Instagram. So the thirst traps on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever have you. Those girls who are doing the absolute most just to entice a target. And in most cases, the target is usually men. And I just see a lot of these girls as low-hanging fruit, if that makes any sense. The pygmy girl is usually a low-hanging fruit, and it shows a lot. I think it's like a direct barometer of your level of self-esteem, or your level of self-worth, or your level of self-awareness. Just saying. And I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I'm not trying to be judgmental, but I know this video is going to ruffle a few feathers too, which is why there are some people who are going to be upset with me, but I just speak truth, and it's not my intention to upset people, but sometimes the truth is uncomfortable, and that's just what it is. Now, in regards to trans women or the trans pygmy girls, a lot of the there's a lot of trans people or people of trans experience. A lot of them come from or have dabbled in the sex industry, and the sex industry has a long history of being competitive in nature. I mean, I personally haven't dabbled in the sex industry because one reason being, I am not really a people person, and I'm not a people pleaser, and I feel like those are two important qualities to possess in order to thrive in that industry, and I don't have that, and I'm adult and mature enough to admit that I don't have those qualities. Also, I'm not that brave to do it. I'm not that brave because I have worked so hard to get comfortable in my skin, and I feel like taking on that industry and dealing with the different energies and vibes, I don't know if I'll be able to handle it properly, if I'll be able to handle it well. And also, like I said, I'm not a people person. I don't really do well with a lot of people. Like, I like to keep my circle small. I like to, I'm not very good with people. Even though I work in customer service, even though I work in the service industry, the beauty industry, but yeah. But I'm not rude, but that is a whole other situation that requires a certain level of interaction that I don't have. in general. So that's just, I'm trying to pick my words carefully here. I'm trying to pick my words carefully. Um, yeah, so the competitiveness of that industry and the trans experience, or people of trans experience, or trans people in general who have dabbled in that industry, which is a large percentage, a large majority have. And it is what it is. It's the oldest profession in the world. It's nothing, it's work. It's work. Sometimes you just have to survive how you can. So, but what I meant is, I'm trying to make a point. The point is, a lot of that competitiveness spills into their everyday lives, and it can turn into a vicious cycle if it's not properly confronted or properly addressed. And also, a big trigger of that pick me energy among trans girls has to do with the scarcity mindset. A scarcity mindset is when you have an obsession about something. And in this case, it's about the access and the proximity to men. So there's that obsession about your proximity or your access to men, that therefore a lot of decisions that you make is kind of centered around that obsession or that interest, that specific interest. You know, decisions about how you wear your hair, how you dress, how you present, how you smell, how you speak. You know, it's about, if it's about that proximity to men, or that your obsession about your access to men, or your approval, or getting the attention of men, then that's the scarcity mindset. Because, and the scarcity mindset is usually due to socialization, you know, is due to past traumas and generational curses as well. So socialization, where a lot of girls are socialized to see, you know, a man as the ultimate, having a man as the ultimate social status, having a man as the ultimate achievement. So there's a lot of women, trans women, who have been socialized in a way to see it that way. And then there's past traumas, where a lot of us come from a traumatic experience in life. You know, life has dealt a lot of us a very bad hand. So therefore, when you know you're on your transitional journey as a trans woman, a lot of us are scared of rejection. A lot of us want love. A lot of us want to be loved. A lot of us want to be adored and cherished. So therefore, we're willing to put up with whatever, as long as we're able to get that male attention, because somehow it's been made to believe that that attention is love, even though it might not necessarily be positive. But a lot of us see it as, oh, at least I'm being validated by the presence of a man in my life. It makes my existence valid, if that makes any sense. So that's that traumatic, that past trauma comes into play, because a lot of us get bullied, a lot of us get rejected by family and friends and all of that, by society in general. Then we try to find love wherever we can. So then we're extremely competitive in our quest to achieve that love. So therefore, that's where the scarcity mindset is. However, this is where that feminine, and also before I proceed, the generational curse is, you know, we see our mothers put up with mess, and our mothers, so our grandmothers put up with crappy men, and then we see our mothers put up with crap from men. So therefore, it's like a generational curse, where then we grow up tolerating whatever we get. We grow up tolerating whatever crap that is served to us from, you know, whoever. And look, I'm not a man hater. I appreciate and I understand and I appreciate the value of a good man, of a really good man. I appreciate it. I've been lucky to have met some good men in my life. However, I'm single because you know, for whatever reason, it just didn't work out. But I wouldn't say that, I wouldn't then turn around and say like, oh, that person was a bad person. I've met some amazing people, and you know, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, and that's just life. You win some, you lose some. So this is not to bash men. This is just talking about the pick me mentality and the scarcity mindset that a lot of trans girls have. Now, I'm sure there's cis women that have it, but that's not my point of focus in this conversation. So that's the generational curse aspect of it. Now, proceeding further now, moving forward, um, I think in order to tackle that whole in order to tackle the scarcity mindset, this is where the feminine journey kicks in. This is where it's important to take that feminine journey. And look, for references to the feminine journey, I did a whole full breakdown in my previous video where I talked about the art of self-forgiveness, and you can refer to that video for a full breakdown. But just to give you a brief summary, the feminine journey is taking a journey into yourself. Is taking a journey into yourself and discovering yourself, discovering who you are, the essence of who you are, cultivating that self-love and taking joy in your own company and taking joy in the present. So that's taking that feminine journey into self. It's a whole different thing from the heroic journey. The feminine journey and the heroic journey are two different things. The heroic journey is you versus the world. Feminine journey is you versus yourself. So it's a journey into self, and it's like a self-discovery. So this is where the feminine journey is really important, because when you take that feminine journey into self, you are able to learn about who you are. You're able to love yourself. You're able to discover your worth and enjoy your own company. And that way you're able to break free from the scarcity mindset and instead developing an abundance mindset as well. And ultimately just banishing that whole pick-me energy and that whole pick-me headspace. So self-love is very important, because in the words of RuPaul,
if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else?
He couldn't have said it any better, but it's the truth. Self-love is really important to get rid of that pick-me energy, because that pick-me energy, from the outside looking in, for them, it reeks of desperation, and it's kind of sad to see that some of the girls. And look, this whole pick me energy thing, this is way before the whole TikTok trend, because this is something that I've also noticed for a long time. I just didn't exactly have the language to diagnose it or to call it or to address it, because look, to be honest, I have been one of those girls before, but it didn't take me that long to snap out of it, because inwardly I just wasn't happy. So I had to, like, okay, something has got to change, something has got to. So I am on that feminine journey myself, and I am just discovering things as I go along, and the journey is beautiful for me. And I hope that whoever is watching this is able to, if you recognize that energy, I hope that you're able to take this as a constructive suggestion, and just take a journey into yourself and come out on the other side with an abundance headspace as well. So in saying that, like I said before, ultimately, men are like buses. There's always going to be another one coming, and that's the truth. It is what it is. So having said that, I'll leave you with that for today, and I'll see you real soon. So until then, as usual, fly high, my butterflies. Fly high. Spread love, protect your energy, keep the peace, and be kind to one another. And I'll see you real soon. So, bye.